Hey, welcome to Dan's Model Works. And it's new project day. Yay! And for the next project I'm going to be working on, I thought I'd do something a little simpler. And mainly that's because once the racer's wedge is done, the project that's pretty much going to follow it is going to be a little complicated. At least I think it is. So I wanted something that was going to go together fairly quickly, fairly easily. And this one has actually been in my stash for, at least 18, 19 years. And it's a Dewoitine D520. And I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. And it's a Tamiya kit, so we're pretty certain that everything is going to fit. As a matter of fact, it's put together. Well, not really. Anyway, let's take a look at the contents. The box itself is typical Tamiya. We've got a nice painting on the cover of it. Otherwise, there's not much to see. They've got a 3-view drawing here on the side in color. And of course, lots of Japanese, which I don't speak. And pretty much the same thing on the other side. So, get it open. And we've got some, let's see, 3 languages? Yep, 3 language instructions. Take a look at those in a moment. And we've got 1 bagged up sprue here. And a 2nd bagged up sprue here. And as you can see, the transparencies are in another bag inside there. And then we've got important information concerning this kit. Please don't eat the parts. I won't. And then we've got a painting guide here. And this kit is recent enough that they have the paint callouts in Tamiya's own colors, which is kind of handy. And the only other thing in the box here is we've got the decal sheet, and these appear to be nicely printed. Let's see, Skillmaster decals, printed by Vitachrome. So they weren't actually printed by Tamiya. It says down here, printed in USA. That's kind of neat. And there's our cockpit instruments and some interesting, probably unit markings there. A quick look at the instructions, we can see that there's a potted history here of the aircraft. Now, the D520, and yes, I'm cheating, I don't want to say this name more often than I have to. The development of it actually started in 1934 as a replacement for the D510, which had a disappointing performance. But really, there wasn't a whole lot of impetus towards proceeding with it. I mean, obviously, the manufacturer was interested in developing it, but in terms of official interest, there wasn't much until about 1937, 1938, as war started looming. So they're pretty much standard Tamiya fold-out instructions, as annoying as that can be. And we're going to start off with the cockpit, and I guess they give us a pilot. And it looks like there's some rudimentary detail molded on the sidewalls. The parts count for this kit is not particularly high, so unless I get really carried away doing something silly, this should be a fairly quick and easy build. And here's the back side of the instructions. So we're looking at 9 steps. And as I said earlier, they've got paint callouts in Tamiya's own colors, although it looks like they're asking us to do some mixing. Doesn't look like they give us anything other than French markings. And the reason I say that is This plane was used by the Luftwaffe after the collapse of France, and a number of these were taken as war prizes by the Italians and used by Italy. Let's meet the parts. This is our clear sprue, and I'm not quite sure where I'm holding this camera. Let's put it back on its stand. That's better. So, focus. We've got our windscreen. This looks like it's the gun sight. We've got the sliding portion of the canopy, and then we've got the half windows that are used to give rearward view. And if I turn this on edge, you can see the transparencies are nice and thin. And if you get hold of this kit, make sure you don't lose this little bag here. I'm pretty sure these are the poly caps for the wheels. Wouldn't be the end of the world if you lost these, but... So we've got two main sprues. This one, of course, has the fuselage sides. And we've got a three-bladed propeller. Looks like we have a choice of spinners here. There's our nose cap. And this is the underside of the nose, the chin, our rear stabilizers, and the panel lines are nicely recessed. And of course here is our control panel, and looks like there's more gauges on there than were on the decal sheet. We will see about that. Of course here is our cockpit detail, and now that we can see the inside, you can see they do give you some detail molded into the sidewalls. Probably not nearly as good as if it was molded in resin, but certainly better than a lot of planes out there. And moving on, we have our lower wing, and it certainly is a fairly complex part. I like the wheel wells. They certainly look like they're deep enough to actually take the wheels themselves, something you can't always say. And this is probably the radiator. Looks like it fits in there. Here's our upper wings. Not a very big plane, certainly not much bigger than a Bf-109, which in terms of performance, according to Wikipedia, the D520 was a little bit slower than the Bf-109, but apparently it was more maneuverable. According to Captain Eric Brown of the RAF, at the Royal Aircraft Establishment captured enemy aircraft flight, when he tested the D520, he was quoted as saying, "It was a nasty little brute. It looked beautiful, but it didn't fly beautifully. Once you get it on the ground, I was told not to leave the controls until it was in the hangar and the engine stopped. You could be taxiing towards the hangar and sit back and suddenly it would go at a right angle." So, certainly it was probably more maneuverable than the Bf-109, but it sounds like it had some nasty habits that could catch you unawares. I don't know, I've never flown it myself. It does look nice, and I don't already have a model of a French aircraft. And they say that if they had more of these available at the onset of the Second World War, the Luftwaffe probably would have had a much harder time of it. However, it was available in such small numbers that it really couldn't have made much difference. So, this is the next project I'm going to be starting. Pilot doesn't look too bad. Let's zoom in on him. Looks kind of short, though. Kind of short and dumpy. Maybe I'll use him. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Certainly looks like it's a nice kit. Look, and being a Tamiya kit, you know, everything is pretty much just going to fall together. Watch, this will prove me wrong. Normally, a Tamiya kit, the fit is pretty good. I know they've made a couple of dogs just like everybody has. So, that's the next project I'm going to be starting. And thanks for watching Dan's Model Works. And until next time, just keep on modeling.